Well, this is totally not Danzig, and you're listening to the Shred Shack.
I missed that. It's been
It's been so long.
yeah. Greetings, folks. I'm Dan Mack.
This is Chris Mack.
And I'm Pete.
Welcoming you to episode 85 of the Shred Shack podcast, your premier source of news and uninformed yet heavily biased opinions pertaining to all things heavy metal, airing whenever the fuck we feel like on iTunes, Mixcloud, Google Play, as well as on YouTube at youtube.com/the Shred Shack and youtube.com/Adamant's Templum. We have in fact
Pretty
been
accurate
gone.
description.
What? Whenever the fuck we
Whatever
feel
the fuck we want to.
Yeah, well, because we have not been around for the last month. I know for sure one of those weekends I was in New York. I think the week before that we skipped because it was a light weekend.
Yeah, I think there was a couple of those, and I didn't do anything extra special for the script. This is just this week's stuff, so I didn't go that far back.
Did you like keep anything from prior to that?
No.
All right, so anything prior to this past week, go look up yourself. I mean, we're not gonna do everything for you. Not gonna spoon feed you shit. But yeah, so now we're back after about a month, and let's go start with some old business.
Old business is old business, and new business is new business.
I guess with old business, might as well talk about the one thing I've been listening to for the last month, and that's the new release from Foo Fighters, because that's now an old release.
You know, considering the fact that we had said tell everyone to go back and do their own research and everything, we should have just went on and been like, no old business, but you ruined it, so carry on, please.
Well, I totally dig the new Foo Fighters record.
The ZZ Top vibe.
What's that?
The ZZ Top vibe that they have going on now.
I think that it's just beyond that. I think they've moved beyond like their whole Foo Fighters like arena rock thing. They're something completely different now, which is fucking awesome.
Well, because they can now.
Yeah,
they've had a point where they can. They don't have anything to prove at this point, so they can kind of just go off the deep end and do it.
I think they really have. I think one of my favorite things about this particular record is that they've gone really fuzzy with their guitars and the vocals. The vocals are dirty as fuck. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of buzz on Dave's vocals, and I also like the way the songs are crafted and put together. There's no big anthemic like choruses going on in this record. Like, you know, there's no Best of You or All My Life or any of those big fucking sing along choruses. There's nothing like that. It's just a straight up awesome hard rock record, and it's really fucking good to listen to because I've been listening to it for a fucking month now. Mm-hmm. I think my favorite track, the funny thing is my favorite track on it is the one that Dave doesn't sing.
That's how I felt about, remember the Honkin' on Bobo CD by Aerosmith?
Yeah.
The two tracks that are sung by Joe Perry are my favorites.
Well, the thing is, the track that I'm talking about, Sunday Rain, is the one that it sounds like the most influenced by the Beatles, which is not surprising considering that Paul McCartney plays drums on the record, on that particular track. And it's sung by Taylor Hawkins, was the drummer of Foo Fighters, so they're just all swapping around. And it's just a really good, it sounds so much like Latter Day Beatles that it's not even funny.
So, the bass player for the Beatles is playing drums when the drummer of the Beatles is still alive to play drums.
Yes.
Damn, that is some cold shit.
But either way, all around great record. It's the only thing I've been listening to for a month, seriously. So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Pete, do you have anything to contribute to old business before we go on to new business?
So we're talking about stuff that we've listened to in the past, that are old releases now? Is that
I guess so.
That's the way I approached it.
Okay. So the only one that I really want to talk to, this one got released a couple weeks ago. It's by a band that I'd never heard of before, but they're called Ray'd. And Ray'd is spelled RAY''D. And basically, this band is anarchist black metal, which I was drawn to just because, you know, metal in general, but especially black metal, has kind of a reactionary right-wing contingent to it, I guess I'd say. There's lots of that kind of stuff in the scene. So, but the reality is that, you know, black metal as does most metal, has its roots in punk, and punk being very much an anarchist leftist kind of scene. So it's interesting to find a band like this where the album itself sounds very much like a raw black metal, like old school black metal album with some symphonic elements. There's a violin player that's part of the band that adds kind of a sort of folky side to it, but generally speaking, it's just the vocals are they're raw, but they're not sort of growly the way that the black metal can be. The vocals are definitely more on the punk side of the scene than traditional black metal vocals, but the music has that dark atmospheric quality that is very much a part of black metal. So I loved it. It's rare, at least from my perspective, it's been rare to find a band like that has a very specific sort of political, leftist political vein in it, in the black metal scene, in the current black metal scene, I should say. So I was very surprised and pleasantly surprised, I should say.
Quick thing before we carry on. Chris, your second news bit here, we'll make that into our discussion.
Huh?
Your second news bit, we're going to make into the discussion.
Okay, so we'll just skip it for
Yes,
general news
for right
and go
now.
straight into
Because I feel like we can make that a yearly discussion. And,
it. Sounds good to me. I like it.
And we're going to discuss it anyway because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So let's go on to new business.
And this is new business, and we do not discuss new business until next quarter.
Because honestly, for the most part, I can't remember what I listened to for the rest of this month. I actually wrote down some stuff that I listened to prior to going away to New York. But I actually have an album release to talk about. It's gonna be a brief one because I don't have too much I can really say about it. But the new and debut CD from Rewired, which is this local San Antonio band, hard rock band, kind of treading in that heavy metal vibe. It's basically like their sound is very heavily Bon Scott era AC/DC.
Yeah, you said that. That's
Yeah,
right.
so their sound, it's that arguable hard rock heavy metal sound. You can't really say that they are.
Either or.
Well, you can say hard rock for sure, but like you can argue if it's metal or not. But it's simple, straightforward, classic rock. Production wise, it sounds great. I've mentioned the band before on this show. We're talking about their live performances, and when I got a chance to interview the band on Thursday, which will be up later this week, including footage from a show last night that I went to because they did a show to celebrate the release of the CD. The singer had kind of expressed some confusion as to why I had said he sounded like Chris Cornell, which, after hearing how he sounds on the CD as opposed to sounding live, I can see why he was confused because he does kind of hit the nasally Bon Scott stuff, but I can still hear a little bit of the influence of like that, like how Cornell sounds on Cochise. Like when he's getting loud and getting out there, like you can hear some of that. Just this is a little bit more in that nasal territory of Bon Scott. But like I said, the music is simple, straightforward. The band's energy is great. My only concern so far is that after I've been listening to it since I grabbed it from them on Thursday, which I want to give myself an award right now because I am the first person to ever purchase a copy of this CD. No one will ever take that away from me.
There you go.
That's right. But it runs into the same issue as, like, say, AC/DC does, in that a lot of it's very similar, so it's hard to differentiate on the initial listens. So as I was listening to it over the last few days and then seeing it live last night, I was able to recognize songs, so I'm starting to be able to separate it out. But I was describing it to Lindsay as basically like, it's like a good 40-minute head-bobbing rock song. and she was like, yeah, I see it. It's a good fun song. So, but I'm thoroughly enjoying it. I think I've listened to it about 4 or 5 times since I got it on Thursday. And definitely looking forward to playing it on the S5 a little bit. So, and going into the next thing real quick, their performance last night, they did 2 CD release shows, one at Bonds and one at Fitzgerald's. I didn't go to the one at Bonds. I went to the one last night at Fitzgerald's, and the band has a lot of energy. They are now a full 5-piece. Every time I see them in the past, I think they've been just a 4-piece, but now they actually have a full set of a band, and they were awesome. So, yeah. What else have we been listening to aside aside from this week, just generally speaking, throw out some stuff that you've listened to.
Really, just the same stuff that's been on the gym iPad. I haven't updated that in a while, so it's the newest Mastodon record. That's not the EP that just recently came out.
You talking about Emperor's Hand?
Yeah. What else is on that one that I've been keep on listening to? Royal Thunder, of course. Astronoid is just a go-to. Anytime I put my iPod on the speakers at the gym, I try to be a little bit safer for people to actually listen to and not get pissed at me. So that's my go-tos pretty much. And then anything louder than that is in my headphones. So it's usually like, Testament, or I have Paradise Lost in there. Simply X Paradise Lost, not the band Paradise Lost. And a couple other ones I keep forgetting. But I haven't updated it in like 3 months, so.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm the same way. In fact, I can't even remember with any kind of clarity like what all I have on that shuffle right now. Astronoid does come up because I do listen to that with Chris at the gym sometimes. But I can tell you right before I came over here, I listened to Heaven Denies. So that's the last thing I remember listening to.
Okay. For me, because it was my birthday and a lot of stuff revolves around me obtaining music, trying to think of what necessarily. Well, first of all, I got the Queen On Air box set from you, Chris.
Yes, sir.
So I listened to a bit of that, and it's always nice to hear live stuff or different versions of the older material that I feel does not get enough attention. It's starting to get more attention now with a lot of the live releases that they're putting out, but it's just nice to be able to hear those in a different setting, because like the early Queen is so fucking good. My Fairy King, Great King Rat, Father to Son, all these tracks just kind of got lost over time, whereas they should not. I kind of wish they'd still play them later into their career. And then while I was back in New York, I went back to Mr. Cheapo's because I had some time to kill. And I walked out with the rest of the Lacuna Coil collection that I needed to get, just because Lindsay and I have all of them between us. Listened to one of those. What I was actually really excited about getting, I don't know why it was so exciting, but the full-on soundtrack to Final Fantasy VII, the video game. Bought it for $10.
Like the original one?
Yeah, like they didn't. It's not like redone or orchestral or anything. It's like how it sounds in the game, like that by today's standards, shitty sound.
Yeah, I remember having that. My friend had it back when. Remember when mini discs were a thing? The little yeah.
Oh wow.
That's what he had it. I remember that.
I actually have a mini disc player.
What?
Yeah.
You don't have a working CD player, but you have a mini disc player.
I know.
Dude.
Right?
Dude.
I know, right?
The fuck?
I got my PA system set up now that we have this new equipment for us, so I can actually listen to music at home.
Or you can just go and buy a shitty boombox, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, but I don't want to buy a shitty boombox. I can
For like $10.
I have a PA system. I can fucking shake the walls. Shock the monkey. But there was that. We had a party while we were there, so we were listening to just a lot of random shit on my iPod. I put on a good Rogering at one point. I played some Jessica Kill while I was there, trying to like sneak in some stuff. Like, yeah, check out this band. No one asked any questions, unfortunately. And when I came back, I picked up. I got a gift card for my birthday, so I picked up the Testament Original 5 CD Classics box set that I have been wanting for so long. I actually purchased from Best Buy. They didn't tell me that they canceled the order, so I never got it. So it's been kind of like a get it before it goes out of print kind of thing. So I finally managed to get that. And there's a few other random things that I picked up over the course of the few weeks, but I can't think of them right now. But yeah, the most recent one is the Rewired CD, which is I was listening to right up until yesterday. So now it's just fun stuff on the iPod. All right, so let's go on to some general news. Chris, you're going to take over. I'm going to get the buttons ready.
There's a joke there. I'm working on it.
Yep.
Nicely done.
Yep.
All right, so Flesh God Apocalypse have parted ways with vocalist guitarist Tommaso Riccardi, taking his place as the band's original frontman and current drummer Francesco Paoli, David Fulcito from Stormlord and Prophylax will be taking over on drums, while Fabio Bartoletti from Deceptionist is stepping in to handle lead guitar duties.
Those are some intense names.
It sounds very Italian.
Yes.
Buongiorno. Si, correcto. We need some Brad Pitt clips from Inglourious Bastards.
I was trying to say, just next time, if you can't say it, just go pizza pasta.
All right, so we're skipping the second one to make it our discussion point for later. And next one up. According to the Spokesman Review, all 4 members of Decapitated have been formally charged with rape in Spokane County, Washington. The 4 had already been charged with kidnapping in the first degree.
Is this what we mentioned last time?
Yes.
Okay, this is where we just said like they might be scumbags.
Yeah,
but
now it looks like they're being charged with being actual scumbags.
You have formally been charged with being a scumbag.
Wow.
Good job. I wish I had a clip for that, but I really don't. So,
moving on.
Get out the way.
That's all I got.
Okay. Tanger Cavalry have signed a new worldwide deal with Napalm Records. An early 2018 release is expected for the band's new album for the label.
That is kind of awesome. As we actually still included them on the S5.
Yeah, when I was still doing it.
Yeah, so I think we played them a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
But now that they're on Napalm, they've stepped up. So now it's Pat's territory. So,
all right. Buckethead recently revealed on the self-help podcast Coming Alive that he has been diagnosed with a potentially fatal heart condition which could end his life at pretty much any moment.
Since revealing this information, he's released 27 albums.
As a matter of fact, the joke is, and it's not a joke because in the interview that he did, after he had a procedure done on his heart, the next day he recorded an album in his bed.
Of course he did.
So,
of course he did.
Yeah.
He's going to release like 60 of them and then still live.
So, yeah.
Was there any more details about
There's a really long article about it that I didn't want to go through too much of the details. So.
Gotcha.
But pretty much is that is something having to do with the beating of his heart is abnormal, almost like like worse than an arrhythmia kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So,
man, that's why he plays so fast. Yeah. Well, hopefully he stays well and alive for a good long time because he is a very, very talented man.
and beyond prolific, he puts Devin Townsend to shame.
He puts most musicians to shame.
Yeah, true.
It's like him, maybe John Frusciante, I think Omar Rodriguez Lopez. Like they all release stuff like every other day.
Yeah.
So.
Well, that's it for general news.
Okay, so let's go on to some recording news.
All right, Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons, which is the band featuring Motorhead guitarist Phil Campbell alongside his sons Todd, Dane, and Tyler, plus vocalist Neil Starr, has completed recording his debut full-length album with producer Romesh Dadagana.
Yanagata Davida.
Right? All right, but an early 2018 release via Nuclear Blast is expected.
I remember hearing the EP when they released it a few months ago. It was pretty good. So this might be good too.
Operation Mindcrime, which is a band led by former Queensryche guitar singer Jeff Tate, will release The New Reality, the third and final of a concept album trilogy exploring international politics, the world economy, and social ethos on December 1st via Frontiers Music SRL.
Move this man!
I don't actually mean that. I do like Jeff Tate's music. So, I wanted to catch him live here a few months ago. I think I mentioned that on the podcast because he did like an acoustic show.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I would have liked to have seen that, but next time.
Yeah.
Next time.
All right. Avenged Sevenfold has announced a December 15th release date for the deluxe version of its critically acclaimed album, The Stage.
Who'd you copy and paste that shit from?
Look, but the important thing is that they're letting people know it's coming out this time, you know? All right, this new edition features 7 additional studio songs plus 4 previously unreleased live tracks recorded during the band's recent shows at the O2 Arena in London. Among the 7 bonus tracks is the band's cover of Pink Floyd classic Wish You Were Here.
I'm glad that you opted to not say the adjective.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I didn't listen to the cover.
Where did
so-
you copy and paste this from?
Probably Blabbermouth.
Someone is just licking the dicks, man. Just like
I want to put my dick in it. I wanted to put its dick in me.
someone's got a massive hard-on for Avenged Sevenfold.
Someone does. All right. Morbid Angel will release their new album Kingdoms Disdained on December 1st via UDR Music. And Pop Evil have spent the last few months recording an all-new LP due out early next year.
Both of those things excite me.
This next one is pretty interesting. Big Dumb Face, which is the side project from Limp Bizkit guitarist Wes Borland, has announced his return with new album Where Is Duke Lion? He's Dead, set for release on October 31st via Edison Sound. Now, the album is Big Dumb Face's first full-length release since Duke Lion Fights the Terror in 2001. So this is 16 years in the making, pretty much. And tells the story of the powers of evil triumphing, killing the hero. I guess it's a concept album. I guess. Well, the interesting thing about this is that I've been hearing about Big Dumb Face for a long time, obviously since 2001.
Yeah.
But apparently, they get a lot of credit on like the Metal Sucks website. We all know that those guys are such cynics. Mm-hmm. So if they can actually like say something good about something, it means it has to have some kind of credibility to it. So I know nothing about them like sonically myself, but if these guys give the thumbs up to it without any kind of like tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, it's got to be at least halfway decent.
I remember the single sort of, and it was really just kind of goofy.
Well,
looking.
apparently the new single that he just recently released is actually very heavy.
Okay,
so might be something to look into.
I mean, if you're able to make something interesting, considering the fact that what brought you to fame was
Limp
Bizkit, like.
Man.
I think to this day he still will defend Limp Bizkit as well, but it's like I don't really think you can. It was a flash in the pan, and even the stuff that you contributed wasn't special. Everything you've done outside of it has been pretty interesting at the very least.
Well, he's probably like one of those guys like John Five. I mean, John Five has virtuoso guitar playing on his solo records, but then he goes and plays with Rob Zombie. It's not exactly, he's not breaking any ground.
That's fun as shit, though. But you look like you have something to say.
I was just thinking, like, what were we thinking back then? Like, back in, like, the early 2000s and stuff. Like, when we thought a band name like Big Dumb Face. It was interesting. Because I remember when that came out, and, like, me and my friends like, oh, this is going to be sweet because it's from, like, fucking West Borland shit. And we were responsible for that whole fucking era. Like, not knowing any better. So.
But a name like Big Dumb Face can be pulled off because he probably said, well, you can't get much worse than Limp Bizkit.
Exactly.
The dumb name quota has been reached, so no one's going to notice.
A lot of that.
Well, actually, that's one of my favorite things. Watching the Foo Fighters documentary, at the very end, there's a clip of Dave Grohl. It's like, if I were to do anything different, I would name it anything else, because Foo Fighters is a fucking stupid name.
Well, you didn't think it was going to take off, now did you? Way to go.
All right, next one up I'm kind of stoked about. Philip H. Anselmo and the Illegals has set Choosing Mental Illness as a Virtue as the title of its second album due in December via Anselmo's Housecore Records.
Didn't that other album just come out?
No. That was Scour.
Okay.
That was the EP that he did. Apparently their first record came out in 2013, so it's already been 4 years.
What?
And it was really good.
Then what was the other thing he released? There was something else he did.
He did that thing with the guy from Devil's Rejects.
Yeah,
and recently,
Phil and Bill.
Yeah, and then there's also the Superjoint album that came out this year.
But didn't the Illegals come out with an EP?
I don't think so.
I could swear they came out with something.
No. I think you're thinking of Scour, because that was the EP that they came out.
Does he have another project?
Dude.
Okay,
dude, he's like right up there with Portnoy and Patton. I
feel like there was something else he's done recently that wasn't all that stuff. Like it had his name attached to it, like specifically, but it wasn't and the Illegals.
I don't remember.
I don't know.
It's kind of hard to keep up with his his projects.
All right, carry on.
The CD edition of Nine Inch Nails' latest release, Add Violence, hit stores this past Friday, October 13th. You can find it now through Amazon. The effort was previously only available in digital format, But you'll have to wait until November 17th for the vinyl release, however, Pete.
Yeah, I still have some money left in my gift card. I might buy that.
All right. And Seven Dust have announced a December 8th vinyl release of their self-titled debut album, which will be pressed on neon yellow 150-gram double vinyl and can be pre-ordered now through Pledge Music.
Let's call it what it is. It's piss colored. just say that. That'd actually be awesome if somebody like released something and literally said that. Like it's the color of piss. So you have to go into your store and ask for the piss colored vinyl.
Yeah.
I wonder one looks like shit.
I'd be shocked if like a grindcore band hadn't already done that or something.
Oh, I'm sure. You know what? I'm just gonna. I might just. Someone type into Google shit colored vinyl.
Yeah.
So let's go on to. We don't have any crowdfunding tracker this week. So
not this week.
Actually, I will make mention. I don't have any information about it right now, but the new album from A Sound of Thunder is currently in the midst of being crowdfunded. It's already past its goal, of course, because it's A Sound of Thunder. Their entire, like, more than half of their career has been a series of successes via crowdfunding. But it's an album called It Was Metal.
So metal.
Yes. So
There's Dan's entire review.
yeah. So that's
the
shut
joke
up.
you made. Yeah, that's the joke you made.
Don't ruin the joke so early.
Hashtag spoiler alert.
Damn it. Hashtag I need better jokes.
It's good. It's been a running joke for a while, Dan.
Shut up. All right, so let's. But like I said, they've already surpassed it, and I think I went a little bit more in than I usually go. It's bad phrasing.
Balls deep.
Yeah, balls deep. Totally balls deep. Just because I love this band, so.
Balls deep in your love.
But they always have great reward tiers and everything. So, you know, shirts and the CD and a bonus EP and all this other kind of shit. This is a band that goes all out with its Kickstarters, and they never disappoint. So kudos to them to already passing it and moving along to the next thing. Hopefully they'll be able to get some stretch goals and include some more awesome shit and do more fun things. So, all right, so let's talk about concert news, and it looks like we have something about festivals.
Yep. Marilyn Manson and Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes have canceled their appearances at this year's edition of the Aftershock Festival. The organizers have since announced that Butcher Babies and Palais Royale?
Palais Royale.
Yeah, let's go with that. Have been added to the two-day event, which is scheduled to take place October 21st and 22nd at Discovery Park in Sacramento, California. Manson's Aftershock cancellation comes less than 2 weeks after he scrapped 9 shows of his Heaven Upside Down tour following an onstage incident. This incident happened about 45 minutes into his September 30th set at Hammerstein Ballroom in New York City, as he tried to climb a stage prop consisting of 2 enormous fake pistols, which was almost double his height. The huge prop toppled and knocked Manson to the stage, injuring him.
Yeah, I remember reading about that when we were back in New York. And I was like, really? I come here, and this is what happens?
Yeah, it's your fault, dude.
Yeah, it's my fault, apparently. Well, don't next time keep your props tied down. But I think he's at home now, right? Just recovering?
Yeah. He's been doing interviews and stuff like that, so he's good.
Yeah. That's good. Let's go on to touring news. I see a lot of hashtags here, so I'm going to need to pull out a sound clip.
You got it?
Yes.
All right, hashtag no San Antonio date. Black Label Society will embark on a North American tour this winter in support of its upcoming album, Grimest?
I thought it would be Grimmest.
It should probably be Grimiest Hits.
But
Grimmest.
Grimmest. I was going to say, it's Grimmest,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Like,
it's Grimmest.
yeah.
like grim.
Yeah, it just doesn't look right, I guess. Anyway, joining them on the trek will be Corrosion Conformity on all dates, with I Hate God and Red Fang appearing on select shows.
Okay, 2 things. One, what was the name of the album again?
Grimmest Hits.
Could the virus kill the grimace?
Nothing can kill the grimace.
Thank you. As long as we have that, we are good.
God.
Finally, a reason to use that clip.
Probably end the show right here.
All of my life, I've been waiting for this moment.
My time has come.
My time is now. And number 2, I think that I would be actually willing to go to Austin for this. I think it's coming to Austin, right?
I think it's like everywhere but San Antonio, like
Yeah,
Austin, Dallas, and Houston.
So I would actually be willing to go to Austin for this because now Black Label is on my. It's rising up my bucket list.
You haven't seen Black Label?
No.
What? Of
maybe-
all the
maybe-
Ozfest that we've gone to, you have not seen Black Label Society.
Maybe once, but I don't remember it.
Huh.
I'd rather see it than headline something.
True.
So,
Very true.
I still haven't seen Alice Cooper headline his own show. I've seen him open for
True.
4 people.
Very true.
So,
Well then, speaking of which,
yeah.
hashtag no San Antonio date. Alice Cooper has announced his early 2018 tour plans. He will hit the road for a North American trek dubbed A Paranormal Evening with Alice Cooper. The tour kicks off on March 1st in Windsor, Ontario, Canada, and runs through March 29th in Indianapolis.
Yeah, I want to see that. So,
Yep.
sadness.
All right. Due to, quote, severe laryngitis, the remainder of Scorpion's U.S. 2017 tour with Megadeth has been canceled. According to a statement released by Scorpion singer Klaus Meine, has been advised by top throat specialists in Los Angeles to arrest his voice. If he continues the tour, he could risk permanent vocal damage.
I mean, at this point, if he were to damage his vocals, there's no problem in packing it in, considering the fact you almost did a few years ago, and you're like 70. like, I'm glad these guys are still out there kicking that ass, but like, dude, it's fine. The thing I wish, though, like for a band like the Scorpions, where a lot of the stuff they're going to play is that more anthemic stuff, just have the audience sing it.
Well,
You know?
a couple of things here that I did not find articles about, but I saw just through headlines on Facebook. Ministry is coming to San Antonio.
Yes. that came up out of nowhere, too.
Yeah, that just all of a sudden blew up my Facebook page.
That's at the Aztec too.
Yeah, that's at the
Yeah.
Aztec.
That's
And
like in a
also
week.
for New Year's, San Antonio, Seven Dust is playing Texas. They're playing 3 dates in Texas, the 29th, the 30th, and the 31st. They will be here December 30th. I believe they're at the Vibes,
Yeah, and Vibes is Rockbox.
which is just so shitty because I missed Stone Sour at Vibes this past week.
Yes, you did.
And I think Mastodon also just played too. So
That might be a thing. Did you have something else for tour?
I think
thing?
that's it.
Okay, so not metal, but has anybody heard about the tour that Weird Al is putting together? He's coming around. He's not doing the big stage setups. He's not doing the costume changes. It's going to be him and his band come out, stools and whatnot, and they're going to play mostly original material.
Wow,
Yeah. So I think that's pretty cool.
wow.
Yeah, so I really want to go to that. I'm pretty sure he's coming here.
That's very cool.
Yeah, not sure where.
That might be like bucket list material because you and I saw Tenacious D at Madison Square Garden, which was amazing.
Yeah. Well, if this is the case for this tour, I would want to see him again doing the full on set, but just to see him live, especially considering the fact it's going to be original material. Just wondering what he's going to pull out because a lot of his stuff is just strange.
Yeah.
So, but looking forward to that. So let's go on to heavy metal in the charts, which a lot of little noteworthy things that I see.
Yeah, no noteworthy things, but we do have a bunch of things in the top here. Not necessarily entirely metal, but we're going to do it anyway. We haven't recorded since this happened, but Tom Petty passed away,
Yep.
as we all know. So obviously that has effects on the charts. So you will hear an awful lot of Tom Petty in this list. So here we go. Tom Petty's greatest hits re-enters the charts at number 2. Number 2, underneath Shania Twain, by the way.
What the fuck year
Shania
is it?
Twain's first album in like 15 years is at number 1.
You made this happen, people.
So just so you know that. All right. Primus, the Desaturating 7, debuts at number 26. Who forgot that Primus was coming out with a new record? This guy.
That's me too.
Yeah.
But how did they give any other information about like how well their previous stuff is charted?
No, this is just me reading off
Okay.
the Billboard chart.
Yeah.
So I know when people do when Metal Sucks does a week in the charts.
Yeah.
They usually do that kind of information.
Okay.
Tom Petty, Wildflowers re-enters the charts at number 27. Pearl Jam's new live album, Live at Wrigley, debuts at number 31.
Pearl Jam doesn't need more live albums.
Well, this one apparently is very special because they recorded it at Wrigley Field during the whole Cubs World Series run, so it's a big deal for them.
Cubs win.
All right. Tom Petty Anthology re-enters at number 32. The new album from Foo Fighters, Concrete and Gold, is at number 39, down from number 17. David Gilmour has a new album, Live at Pompeii, debuts at number 45. The Black Album is at number 118 from 128.
That's a jump of about 70 right there. It's like from 45 with David Gilmour all the way down to 118 with Black Album. So there's a whole lot of shit there.
Yep, a whole lot. Tom Petty, Damn the Torpedoes, re-enters at number 122. Tom Petty, Full Moon Fever, re-enters at number 127. Linkin Park, One More Light at 134 from 109. Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory at 160 from 141. And Stone Temple Pilots, Core, re-enters the charts at number 173.
Didn't that just get re-released?
Yes, it did.
Okay, so that makes
Yes,
a lot of
it
sense. All right, so not surprising. Sad, but not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm assuming... I don't think they would include Tom Petty in the hard rock charts, would they?
No.
Okay.
So here we go with the hard rock charts, counting down from 25. 25 is Cold Dark Place by Mastodon, their new EP.
Okay.
24 is Master of Puppets by Metallica. Number 23, Aerosmith's Greatest Hits. Number 22, System of a Down, Toxicity.
Okay.
21, Metallica and Justice for All.
Woot.
Number 20, Blackstone Cherry, Black to Blues. It's an EP. Number 19 is Jimi Hendrix, The Best of Jimi Hendrix. Number 18, Prophets of Rage, self-titled.
I wanted to buy that. Like, I realized it came out, and I was like, man, I kind of want to hear it.
Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet is at number 17.
What?
Five Finger Death Punch, The Wrong Side of Heaven and The Righteous Side of Hell, Volume 1 at number 16.
Got your 6.
Back to back with Pete's two favorite albums, there's Disturbed Immortalized at number 15. A band called Nothing More released an album called The Stories We Tell Ourselves is at number 14. Led Zeppelin's Mothership's at number 13. Back in Black, number 12. Linkin Park Meteora is at number 11. The other album I should have picked up already by now is Queens of the Stone Age Villains, number 10.
Yeah, that's that too.
Foo Fighters' Greatest Hits is at number 9. Stone Temple Pilots' Core is at number 8.
Damn.
Linkin Park Hybrid Theory, number 7. Guns N' Roses' Greatest Hits is number 6. Metallica Black Album, number 5. Queen's Greatest Hits 1, 2, and 3. The Platinum Collection is at number 4.
Put that back up at number 1, yo.
Propagandhi, I guess that's a band. Their album Victory Lap is at number 3. Foo Fighters Concrete and Gold is at number 2, and number 1 in the hard rock charts is Pearl Jam's Let's Play 2 live at Wrigley Field.
Did I miss you say Metallica Hardwired?
It's not on there.
Oh wow.
Yep. Metallica, I don't think Hardwired has been on the hard rock charts or any charts in a while now.
Oh, I thought it was still towards the top.
Nope.
Now what was that number 3 band? Papa Gandhi?
Propagandhi.
The fuck is that?
Or
shit?
Propagandhi.
Propaganda.
Propagandhi.
The fuck is?
I have no idea.
All right.
Who cares?
Let's go on. Skipping over commercial break. I have a thing here for I Saw a Show because Lindsay and I saw Lacuna Coil and Epica. We're going to skip over that. I'm going to actually want Lindsay here to talk about it.
Alrighty then.
Because it was more so for her. So we'll talk about that another time.
So straight into discussion?
So I think straight into the discussion. And so read the article that we had pushed.
All right,
back.
so the discussion point is going to be Judas Priest, Bon Jovi, MC5, and Rage Against the Machine are among the 19 artists newly nominated for possible induction into Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. The top vote getters will be announced in December and inducted next April at a ceremony in Ohio. Remember the rules. To be eligible for nomination, an individual artist or band must have released its first single or album at least 25 years prior to the year of nomination. The complete list of nominees are Bon Jovi, the band, Kate Bush, The Cars, Depeche Mode, Dire Straits, Eurythmics, Jay Giles Band, Judas Priest, LL Cool J, MC5, The Meters, Moody Blues, Radiohead, Rage Against the Machine, Rufus featuring Shaka Khan, Nina Simone, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Linky Ray, and The Zombies.
Or get your degree.
Yes.
Okay. So, first things first, is anybody else having a midlife crisis seeing Radiohead and Rage Against the Machine on there?
Yeah. Dude, I almost had a freaking shit fit when Nirvana and Green Day, Metallica. Well, Metallica is
that's
but when Nirvana got into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, it was like, Jesus Christ, are we old or what?
Yeah, really fucking old.
Yeah, that's been the strange thing since I hit my birthday. It's been like, man, everything hurts.
Yeah.
Everything's cracking and creaking and hurting and pain and what does it all mean? Damn it.
Just walk away, and there will be an end to the horror.
That's what's happened. Okay, so normally they pick, what, 6?
5 or 6, I don't remember.
Okay, so we'll start this off by saying, who would you pick to be your 6 for this?
Yeah.
That is a good question.
It's really tough. So this is, I mean, we always have this discussion, but it's like, what do we define as rock and roll, right? Because like one of the artists that I heard on there was Nina Simone, who is an influential artist. Like 100%, I cannot deny the impact that she's had culturally, musically, all of that.
She's not a rock singer.
I don't.
Though.
Yeah, I just like
it's
it's weird to put her with like potentially Judas Priest. You know what I mean? Like that's.
And the thing is,
kind
we
of
have to
bizarre
look. We
me.
probably have to look past. I think the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame now is just the name of it.
Right,
'Cause they've
right.
inducted more people. I think they've inducted Grandmaster Flash.
Yeah.
They've inducted.
LL Cool J's on this list.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's another one.
And that's not his first time either.
Yeah, well, the thing is, because he's been nominated a couple times, he just hasn't gotten in yet.
Yeah.
So I think the name Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is just a name now. It's just the institution.
So that goes to my point, though, is that at this point, it's not so much about rock; it's about like the cultural importance and impact that an artist or a group has, right? So now, with that said, I can see someone like Nina Simone being at the top of my list, and it actually makes sense to then include her along with a Judas Priest, Moody Blues. Trying to think of the other ones that were on there.
Dire Straits, Eurythmics,
Dire Straits has to be on it.
Depeche Mode, The Cars.
Fuck, goddamn, there's
Yeah,
too
'cause-
many.
I mean, the thing is that the fact of the matter is that no matter what we talk about as here as a metal podcast, is that you cannot deny that a lot of these bands deserve to be in the Hall of
Yeah.
Fame. Period.
Well, so some of them I don't necessarily know, so I can't really put them on my list, and that's kind of skews my thoughts here. But like I know enough about MC5 to be confused with the fact that they're not in there already. So that
Agreed.
I don't see Priest getting in there right away. I think that'll be some time. I'm actually kind of surprised that Bon Jovi's not in, but then again,
He did come out a couple years after,
Yeah.
say, Metallica did. So
Yeah.
Metallica was in first ballot. So
Yeah. I mean, I don't think Radiohead or Rage Against the Machine should be in there.
well, the thing is,
all.
I'm just looking at like previous years, just like in the back of my head here. The voters tend to do something like they do like one or two newer bands somewhere in the middle ground, and then like the old artists. So if you're thinking about it in that sense, I'm thinking Nina Simone will probably be in there with like a Kate Bush or someone else. As far as like the middle ground, I'm looking at like I'm thinking like, what is it? The Moody Blues.
Yeah, for sure they have to be in there.
And maybe the Eurythmics, maybe. And then for newer bands, of course, they won't put Rage Against the Machine in there right away.
No.
As much as amazing as it would be to see that band play at the ceremony, if they got Zach De La Rocha to come back for one gig, that would be the gig. I just don't see it happening just because last year 9 Inch Nails was nominated for first time, and they didn't let them in. So I just don't see Rage Against the Machine getting in ahead of or without like a 9 Inch Nails type of band involved. So I would say if they're going to do more newer bands, I'd probably say that they probably would go with like a Radiohead.
I feel like
Yeah, I can see that.
I feel like Rage is a little more maybe culturally significant. And I'm just saying this on the U.S. side of things. I feel like they had much more popularity. They were a much bigger deal in their short time. So I could see Rage being brought in first over Radiohead. Whether or not either of them will be in is one thing, but I think I would personally pick Rage over Radiohead, and yet I like Radiohead more.
Yeah.
I think also is that we have to look at they've been accepting more and more honest to God metal artists in there. So because you got Black Sabbath in there now, you got Metallica in there now, you got Deep Purple finally is in there, Rush, the bands that they've been ignoring for years, and this is the first time that Judas Priest is being nominated. I think it might be legitimately something that we can look to actually happen. I think it would happen. I think they're more popular now than they've ever been.
Yeah.
Has Iron Maiden ever been nominated?
No.
That's shocking to me.
Yeah, because I was going to say...
once you get a band in like Priest, though, that opens the doors for like an Iron Maiden to get in there.
Yeah.
But I guess that's doubly shocking because I would think that Maiden would be there before Judas Priest would. As much as I like both of those bands, and
They've obviously passed the 25-year limit a long time ago,
Right.
but this is the first time they've actually been put on the ballot, like ever. So it's kind of insulting that they haven't been on the ballot before. But if they're on the ballot now, and with bands like Metallica and Black Sabbath getting in, and Deep Purple getting in, it leaves it more open for them to actually to make it.
Yeah. See, like I was saying before, like I'm not as familiar with all these artists, like the Zombies, Link Wray, Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Rufus and Chaka Khan, the Meters. Like I'm not as familiar with these. Didn't Jay Giles die this year?
I believe so.
Do you think that might influence their?
It could. The thing is, he's not a first-time nominee.
But even so, they might be like, okay, well,
They did the same thing with Deep Purple, if you think about it, because John Lord died like a couple of years ago, and they finally got them in there.
Yeah.
And plus, Richie Blackmore finally hit the stage again. Then they got in,
Yeah.
with the hope that they would probably do a reunion, but obviously they did not.
yeah.
And I'm actually surprised that Bon Jovi's been nominated before, because they're not listed here as first-time nominees. So
I'm kind of surprised that Depeche Mode has never been voted in. Like they were, I think still are.
I think they still are.
A
Yes.
goddamn big deal.
Yeah.
So I think they've sold millions and where
I'm like, and you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if the Eurythmics get in. I'll tell you the truth.
see, like I don't know enough about the Eurythmics. I know Sweet Dreams, and I think that's probably like the extent to what a lot of people know, unfortunately. So, but like I was saying before, like the MC5, I feel like that's kind of prototypical hard rock. It would like
Get the jams, motherfucker.
yeah. I'm just kind of surprised that they haven't been brought in before. I don't even know how many times they've been nominated, but
Yeah.
yeah. So let's kind of do our little quick six, planning here. We said Nina Simone.
Yep.
Okay. What else do you guys thinking? You think Judas Priest?
I think I give Judas Priest a real chance on this one.
Yeah. Definitely them over, I would say, Eurythmics.
I would definitely say Judas Priest has a chance.
Okay. I'm thinking Jay Giles' band will be brought in following his death. I don't think the newer ones are going to be brought in. So I'm thinking Radiohead.
Yeah, I really like. I know that they're eligible and whatnot, but I just don't see it.
Yeah. LL Cool J is not going to be brought in.
I mean, he's been nominated like 3 times, I think.
Yeah,
so.
that's going to be another year or two.
He's going to be
more.
the Susan Lucci of the of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Probably, yeah.
like Megadeth and their Grammys, 11 losses. Why do we even come out?
Like maybe Dire Straits.
I feel like for them being a first time ballot, that was seemed
they
kind
would
of
be
short,
like my
short
first
thing.
time.
You know what? I don't see that. I actually, for some reason, even though Bon Jovi hasn't gotten in before, I would see Bon Jovi getting in ahead of Dire Straits.
I would simply I would say the same thing simply based on the general cultural impact of Bon Jovi.
I was going to say that the commercial success of Bon Jovi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's part of the reason why I'm surprised they're not in yet.
Yeah, that's again.
So if I mean I think their first album was definitely early 80s. so they couldn't have possibly. They could have been looked over several times. It's just that I'm wondering, like, who beat them out all those times. So I feel like if of the two, like if Bon Jovi and Depeche Mode going at it right now, I feel like I'd be more content with Depeche Mode getting in.
Yeah.
Like, I'm
also
not even
because they're a whole different genre of music.
Yeah.
I mean, if we want just a representation of musical genres in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, I would take Depeche Mode over Bon Jovi any day.
Yeah. It's I'm sure. Actually, you know what? Looking at this list, though, I wouldn't be really upset when they actually make the full list.
Probably not.
Yeah, because there's nothing here that I'm sitting here saying like, oh, what the fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like I'm not. I think last year we had a lot of issues with whatever.
I think so too.
Yeah, but I'm pretty content with whatever you throw at this one. So I'm sure we're gonna hear about it soon.
December is the voting, so probably before the end of the year.
Well, that's actually kind of exciting. So if anybody wants to put in their consideration for what they think is going to be the 5 or 6, we're going to say 5 or 6, 5 or 6 artists that are going to end up into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, let us know on our Facebook page, and maybe we'll turn this into a bet between the 5 of us.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
That sounds like a plan. If you haven't gotten the gist of it, I am a big fan of predictions and betting. So, which, by the way, Lindsay is now 3-time champion.
That's what I hear.
Yeah, we finished the belts. We finished making the belts, so she has to take a picture with it before she loses it on Sunday because she will not win again.
There's another event on Sunday?
Yeah, they if it's not leading up to or just after the big 4 pay-per-views for WWE, they usually do them every 2 to 3 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
Because they're brand specific.
Ah.
But the next one is tables, ladders, and chairs. So there's gonna be a lot of shit getting fucked up. It's gonna be awesome.
So did Shane McMahon jump off the cage or what?
Oh yeah, he did.
Did he fuck himself up good?
Dude, it was. I'll tell you about it afterward.
Okay.
But it was pretty awesome. So I think that's where we're gonna close it for this episode.
You didn't bring me a fucking sandwich, you son of a bitch! God damn you! I need that sandwich!
I'm gonna have a sandwich now. I'm totally gonna have a sandwich now.
We're gonna make our curtain call because Warrior needs food badly.
Yes.
And I have to go home and clean stuff, which is just great. So, well,
Just great.
yep, 9 p.m. on a Sunday. I should have been cleaning all weekend, but I totally did not. And yeah. So until next time, I'm Dan Mack.
And this is Chris Mack.
And I'm Pete.
On your way out, if you want to kill somebody, it would help me a lot. Kill up.